But maybe I'll ask her quick. I don't want I don't want any plot details to come out, guys, yet. Now I understand what these movies. I don't want any spoilers yet for you guys. Keeping you in the dark about what's going on with this thing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna read this story about Indiana Jones. I'll read it. And then hopefully I know Steph. Again, she's prepared. She probably read it already. So let's get into the first story. And the rumor is Disney's currently exploring a full Indiana Jones cinematic reboot. Harrison Ford is set to turn 83 next week and retiring from the role of Indy after 2023's Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. Disney and Lucasfilm are said to be working on a reboot. Harrison Ford first played Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was released on June 12, 1981. His last film as Indy was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, released on June 30th, 2023. It's a span of 42 years over 4 decades. Given how popular the character and franchise is in North America, it's not exactly surprising that Disney isn't going to just let the IP sit on the shelf. Per the Diz Insider, Lucasfilm is letting the franchise rest for a bit before they do full reboot of the franchise. I would expect the studio to announce something next year at the D23 Expo, because even though the last film tanked at the box office, Indiana Jones is still an iconic IP, and Disney Lucasfilm did not want to waste that. It's a fair and realistic outlook on where Disney is likely to take the franchise next. The bigger question is now, who could possibly step into the role of a legendary whip-cracking archaeologist and make it their own? Harrison Ford was in his late 30s when he filmed Raiders of the Lost Ark. So if Disney and Lucasfilm are aiming for similarly seasoned Indiana Jones in a reboot, which actor in that age range could realistically take up the mantle and bring the same mix of grit, charm, and adventure to the role? If Chris Pratt wants to keep portraying different versions of Star-Lord, he would certainly be a viable option. He's also the name that most surfaces first in fan casting. Another option would be Ryan Gosling, Glenn Powell, or Alden Ehrenreich, who played a young Han Solo. Another option would be Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw, who was introduced in Dial of Destiny as Indy's goddaughter. She shares several qualities of Indiana Jones: quick thinking, sharp wit, and a talent for escaping dangerous situations. Though her motivations early on learned more profit than discovery. Some fans and media sources have speculated that her character's debut might be a setup for continuing the franchise with a fresh lead at the character. Not long after the movie's release, Lucasfilm's president Kathleen Kennedy mentioned that a spinoff starring Shaw was entirely possible. However, given Dial of Destiny's underwhelming box office performance, the studio now seems more inclined to quietly move on from the film rather than pursue any follow-ups tied to it. No matter which path Disney and Lucasfilm choose for the future of their Indiana Jones IP, it seems likely that a reboot announcement is just around the corner. Even Sylvester Stallone's Rambo is reportedly set to have a prequel film hit theaters soon and will likely lead into a reboot of the franchise. Okay, well, here is the good news on all of this. Steph Sabra is here.
Hi.
What happened? It was a disaster?
I don't know. It just went pow and turned off.
Just stopped.
But now it seems to be fine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Let me do this too, because I want to make sure. Let's be equals. Let's try
okay.
Is that better?
I can try too.
No, you're good. I think you should be good. Yeah. Well, hold on.
Go in a little more.
How's that? Is that better? I think that's better. Right? No. Try one more time. This is what happens when computers mess with us. We could have done this beforehand. Whatever. Who cares? All right. Perfect. So, Steph, here's my thoughts on because I know you read the story already, right? The Indiana Jones. Okay. So, if they're doing a reboot, meaning not a remake, similar to kind of what they're doing is, let's say, with Naked Gun, where it's still a continuation of the story. This is something that I said years ago. I remember sitting next to John Schnepp talking about this and saying what a way that if they're going to try to do something like this, if they're going to try to do it in general, is basically what they did in the Young Indiana Jones series. And there's an episode where they got Harrison Ford back, and he is essentially reflecting on adventures past. So you have Indiana Jones start out as the Indy that we know him, Harrison Ford, where he's essentially passing the torch to the new Indy, whoever that might be. So you can have him in those situations that you had in the new game that they have. To me, the brand new game that came out is the most Indiana Jones next to Last Crusade, and then that game. The Crystal Skull and then the last movie just felt like they were trying to figure out how to do Indiana Jones, and then the game cracked it. The game was okay. This is how you do Indiana Jones, and that's how they should do that with whatever actor it is. I do think that we could get to a place, and this is the other tricky thing. You and I always differ on this. I think you could get to a place where you could essentially have a version of Harrison Ford doing, like the whoever the actor might be. You could put the face on there. You could do it AI wise. That would be very distracting, I think. I don't really like a lot of the names that were mentioned. I think Chris Pratt is too recognizable as Chris Pratt. I think Alden Ehrenreich doesn't capture the essence of Harrison Ford. We already know that. I still want to see what Anthony and Gruber can do. And I know that Anthony and Gruber is well liked by Harrison Ford because A, he played him in Age of Adeline as a young Harrison Ford and nailed it. And then B, he was the body of Harrison Ford that they replaced in the last Indiana Jones, and he's also in the movies. I guess Harrison Ford has a liking to this kid, and I interviewed him one time on Schmoes, and he was a great guy. So my thought is, go with somebody that can still capture that essence, but pass it off with Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford. I do not think that going with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, as much as I like her as an actress, I think that's a bad choice. I don't think that'll do well at all. I don't think it's the way to go. But what say you? All right, summer. It is here. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. Number one thing you don't want to do all summer, you don't want to spend hours cooking inside. Trust me, it's hot. That's where Factor comes in. Factor chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. Factor powers your day sun up to sundown with nutritious breakfast, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer and get Factor if you want all the flavors and none of the fuss. Absolutely love Factor. You guys know I've been talking about Factor forever because it is so good, and they give you the options that you need. If you have a particular diet that you're on, that for me is like, I'm all about the protein right now, guys. And boy, did they have just delicious stuff. I love coming back from, if it's a day at work, if it's something that I need to do if I'm coming back from the gym, Factor has me covered. So get started at factormeals.com/Christian50off. Use that code Christian50off to get 50% off free shipping on your first box. That's code Christian50off at factormeals.com/Christian50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/Christian50off.
Yeah, I think I just started getting into the Indiana Jones movies. I think they're great. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think the actors that they listed seem like the most obvious choices that I just think I would like to see those actors do different types of roles. I feel like all of them have had that kind of swaggy type of smart ass character before. So it's not like I'm saying they can't do it. It's just like I've seen them do it. So it would be nice to have a new actor, especially for something like Indiana Jones. I don't think you have to have a massive name attached to it. I actually think I would prefer that you kind of make in the same way as David Cornsweet. It's like this is his first big role as Superman, and I feel like it's so exciting and gonna be so exciting to watch his career explode. I'd want the same for an Indiana Jones character. I think, yeah, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I love her, but I just think the fans don't
respond to her. They didn't
respond.
You gotta look at it. It just didn't respond to her, and
yeah, that's just facts.
Yeah, didn't respond to her. But and speaking of the other, this is a conversation we have all the time about like Black Adam, which we bring up all the damn time. That movie Indiana Jones cost over $300 million to make. $300 million to make, which is outrageous. It's outrageous. COVID or not, it's outrageous. This reboot movie cannot cost that. Another reason why you don't get a big movie star like Chris Pratt. You get smaller talent, you make a smaller movie, you make something gritty, something like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you don't go over the top with it. And that's you can go over the top with the sequel, whatever the sequel might be. Reboot it to a gritty tone, the way that Raiders was in that first Raiders of the Lost Ark had a gritty tone to it, and And at the time in 1981, when it came out, it was kind of creepy for kids and stuff too. I think that that's where they got to go back with it. I'm telling you, whoever was involved in that game, get them involved with this movie if they're going to do it. So that's the way you can do, because it could be, if they try to go too big with it again and get a big movie star, it's going to fail. It just will. You freeze again? Man, Steph's setup looks good today, but it's frozen. My stuff's glitchy today too. I don't know what's happening. I know one of the reasons, I guess, because I was uploading something, because we're doing for the channel for members and patrons. We have the unedited reactions that I do. And so I was working on that today, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. This is why I don't do those things, because it takes me so long to upload them. And now the whole stupid thing is glitchy. So I knew this was going to happen. Anyway, you back? No. Sure, we're back for a second. Frozen again. So far so good on today's show. Oh, there she goes. I don't know what the hell's going on with her thing today. Anyway, what do you guys make of the Indiana Jones potential remake, reboot, whatever it might be? You think should they let it go? I know there's going to be some people who say just let it go and maybe it was a different time, but I think that there is something to be said. I think the video game proved it. I really do think the video game proved it, that you can still make that character, those adventures, that time work. And it felt like it just worked in with those first three movies, man. I felt like playing that game. I was like, oh yeah, I'm back. This is what it's supposed to feel like. And it's just the people making the films and TV shows aren't. And that's another point I wanted to bring up to Steph, not here. That is why, one of the reasons, again, that I have an issue with Dave Filoni taking over. What's Dave Filoni really know about Indiana Jones? I don't know. And he would be in charge of this. Is he a big Indiana Jones guy? Does he like, are we just going to say, oh, let's just make an Indiana Jones animated series? Like what's he going to do? He's not the guy. He doesn't make films. And Carrie Beck is also, they're new. So you're going to give them the reins to say, okay, now make Indiana Jones films too, besides Star Wars. They're going to do that. I don't know. I think Steph made it back. Did you make it back? Are you good?
No.
Oh, that's okay. The other point I made though too, Steph, when you're out, is this is why one of the reasons I'm so hesitant about Dave Filoni. What does Dave Filoni know about Indiana Jones? I mean, not that he doesn't know anything about it, but like, it seems like everything when we talk about Filoni and Beck is like Star Wars. And you forget that this is also part of Lucasfilm is Indiana Jones. If they're going to do it, and he's going to take over Indiana Jones too, you want that guy in charge of writing Indiana Jones? No, thanks. I mean, how do you feel? Did you freeze again? We're having a rough day with Steph. This is like Mike. Today's a rough one. Anyway, you back, Steph? What's happening today? It's like Mike, and now your sound's gone. Perfect. What is going on? Are you? Did Mike become an X-Men and learn how to like Mystique? Is this Mike that I'm talking to? Oh, it's one second. I actually saw. It's funny. I saw. I can't remember what it was. I saw some comedian who had, for the first time, he had like one of the sign language people, and he loved the fact that he had that. And he was making the sign language person to say the most awful shit. It was hilarious. Can't hear you still. Are you back?
Something.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Something about my mic is shutting off my computer.
Oh.
No, I just replugged everything. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Let's try to get that point out, and then we'll move to the next. Okay. So as far as like, you see what I'm saying with Filoni?
Yeah. I can't help but to agree with it. It does. That's the hard part about having Lucasfilm attached to Indiana Jones, because I do feel like it's like a completely different entity. So they would have to have a different team, I feel like, in charge of it.
You would hope so, but they're not going to. Nope. I can't hear you. Well, all right, we'll see if Steph can get it back. But thank you guys as far as putting your comments and your thoughts in there in regards to Indiana Jones. Continue to do so on the Clips channel in the live thing. What do you guys make about this story? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know.